From being one of the most beloved actors to being accused of stealing. Let's dive into the biggest scandal of Tom Selleck's life. So what's the crime? Well, the actor allegedly stole 1.4 million gallons of water for his avocado farm. Yes, very scandalous.
We're back now with the uproar involving a Hollywood star. Actor Tom Selleck accused of stealing truckloads of public water, having it brought to his estate during the middle of California's historic drought when so many other people are being forced to cut back. A high-profile figure, the latest face of so-called water shaming.
Tom is one of the many celebrities involved in controversies, but he's better than most others by a huge margin, which is one of the reasons the American actor is so well-liked among fans. So I know I wasn't the only one surprised when I heard of him being neck-deep in such a scandal. Hopefully, this is Tom's last scandal, and we wouldn't need to worry about his career time and time again. The American actor doesn't shy away from talking about his avocado farm.
Why he never eats vegetables, and he's not my idol. He won't even, if he orders a steak and they put vegetables on the plate, he sends it back because the juice from the vegetables will contaminate the meat.
But I guess in the end, it is his farm, and he needs to take care of it. So he borrowed water from others to keep it going during a drought, which led to the biggest scandal of his life, stealing 1.4 million gallons of water for his avocado orchard. And to be honest, out of all the celebrity scandals I have heard of, this has to be one of the more bizarre ones. Celebrities get in trouble for a lot of things. Some are actually pretty serious crimes, others not so much. But stealing water? That's a first. Most people were on his side. They were sure he wouldn't do something like that, at least not for malicious purposes. But still, there were people out there adamant on making him the villain. He did get some criticism for his actions. As for whether Tom deserves it or not, well, let me tell you the full story first, then you can decide. I've already stated the basics of the scandal. Tom is getting charged with diverting 1.4 million gallons of water for his 20-acre avocado farm and all that jazz. And of course, it isn't a scandal if legal action isn't involved now, is it? It was the Callejas Municipal Water District in Ventura County that sued Selleck for the allegedly stolen water. The problem is that water from a public hydrant was taken using a tanker truck. After that, the water was brought to Selleck's avocado plantation, which is situated in a different neighborhood. It appears that over the course of 2 years, the tanker truck visited a public hydrant at least 12 times. According to BBC reports, the case took place during a dry spell. The legal dispute arose after everybody in California was instructed to reduce their water use by 25%.
It's really about doing the right thing and preserving our water supply for our users.
This was the result of a 4-year drought that has hurt the state's agriculture sector. So I guess I understand why some people are so salty. Stealing so many gallons of water is a rather cruel thing to do, especially if it's during a dry spell. California has been a victim of droughts for some time now. About 9.7 million people are affected by these harsh conditions.
Drought conditions that we've had in the state in recorded history. Fortunately, there is somewhat of a success story here for those of us in the Callejas metropolitan service areas, in that we have invested billions of dollars in storage, conservation programs, recycled water programs over the last couple of decades.
Water is extremely important to Californians, and everybody needs to be careful while using it. But honestly speaking, calling this stealing is a bit of a stretch. Stealing implies that there was a crime, and so most people would automatically conclude that what Tom did was illegal. Maybe not the best course of action, okay, definitely not the best course of action. Still, to keep an eye on the alleged water theft involving the farm owned by the actor, the Water District recruited a private investigator, and he reportedly saw the water being stolen. He stated that he had seen the same water tanker leave the property repeatedly.
According to a lawsuit, a truck routinely hauled water from this hydrant 8 miles away from his home onto the actor's 60-acre ranch.
Evidently, Selleck was getting water from an area other than the one where his ranch is. It appears that he was using resources that were for other people, when he should have been using what was at his disposal in his own area. Thomas Slauson, the Callejas Water District's interim board president, talked about the situation. He said that the district needed to take steps to safeguard and preserve their water supply, and that was exactly what they were doing. Due to the actor's actions, more than 630,000 of their customers customers struggled. They had to cut down on their average use of water per day to make up for the deficiency caused by Tom. The water district was understandably not happy about this. The water was paid for by their customers and secured by the district for them. The district also stated that they'd sent the actors cease and desist letters before they took legal action. This was back in November. Tom Selleck made a settlement payment of more than $21,000 to the district in July 2015 to end the legal dispute. But as I've already mentioned, the end result of a scandal depends on the circumstances. Certain controversies can prevent some superstars from recovering. Others are able to put the past behind them and have successful careers. The biggest scandal of Tom Selleck's career didn't stop him from moving on, although it definitely helps that the case the Cayugas Municipal Water District filed against Tom Selleck is a legal case, not a criminal one. They requested a court injunction to try and prohibit the actor from using the district's water. They also demanded payment for the costs associated with the private investigator as well as certain other expenses. At the time of the controversy, Ventura County Sheriff Captain John Riley said that they're unable to prove that a crime was committed, and according to Eric Berg, manager of resources for the water district, the lawsuit was not intended to drought shame anyone. This term is mostly used in California, but honestly it works for pretty much every place. The term drought shaming is the act of publicly criticizing someone for allegedly using more water than is necessary. It is of course a problem mostly during dry spells. The district was worried about the Blue Bloods actor transferring water from their district to his ranch, which is in a different district. Berg stated that they had strict policies against such things, and these policies have lasted for years. The bottom line for us is that nobody wants any such action to continue. It ultimately comes down to acting morally and protecting everybody's access to water. This incident also highlights the water supply in Hidden Valley or lack thereof. The 37 ranches are owned by either celebrities or businessmen. The problem is that none of these properties are connected to public water supply, and the municipal water district, which is directly connected to the Hidden Valley, doesn't provide drinking water. Due to this, the people living there depend on various other ways to meet their water needs. The area includes about 100 wells. Unfortunately, these wells tend to dry up when the dry spell gets bad, leaving the residents of Hidden Valley once again struggling to find water. Not to mention, properties in the Hidden Valley aren't connected to the public water supply. The Hidden Valley Municipal Water District doesn't actually provide its residents with drinking water. Instead, the people are reliant on around 100 wells to supply their needs according to the county records. When the wells dry up, the residents have no choice but to look elsewhere for water. Actually, there was also another Hidden Valley resident who got a cease and desist letter and had to apologize to Cayugas. Though it says a lot about how bad the water situation is when even this beloved actor couldn't avoid getting into a career-altering scandal. Well, calling it career-altering is a bit too much, I guess, but it's definitely a huge scandal. And that's it, the biggest scandal in Tom Selleck's life.
No, but did birthdays ever...
Well, it was weird for me because I didn't work a lot in my 20s. When I was 25, I looked 35 and sounded 15. So that wasn't all working. I had to grow into some things.